On this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, voter registration and a Wildcat you should know. All this and more coming up next. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Sam Appelbaum. The new year brings new changes to students' learning. Dominick takes a look at how they have adapted to the new environment.
The start of this year's school year looks much different compared to previous. Because students are not able to attend school in person, classes are being held online thanks to video conferencing via Zoom. Since schooling has gone fully remote, many Wildcats have found themselves adapting to the new learning environment.
E-learning has been a lot easier to adapt to this school year than in the spring, because in the spring I was only able to see my teachers once or twice throughout the whole time. But now, since I'm able to see them 2 to 3 times a week, it's been making it a lot more helpful.
I guess the biggest adaptation for me is waking up knowing I'm not going to school and I'm just going downstairs to my office.
E-learning has made the transition from middle school to high school definitely a lot harder, but my teachers are doing a great job teaching us the same material we would be learning in person.
This change brings a new scheduling format. Periods 1 through 4 are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays, while periods 5 through 8 are held on Wednesdays and Fridays. Meanwhile, Mondays are used for a short weekly preview of all 8 classes.
I think with less class periods a day, it really allows you to manage your time a bit better. I know for me, I like to work individually, and having less class periods allows me to really work at my own pace.
With so many assignments to keep up with, many Wildcats have used different tools to help them keep track of their work.
Things like Google Classroom, like the to-do list.
My assignment notebook, that's something I've been using for so long now, and it's been a really big help being able to write down all my assignments for the week. And I've also been using Google Calendar and Google Keep, because since I have my phone with me all the time, it always gives me reminders of what's coming up and what I need to do.
Be sure to check the Neuqua Student Splash page for updates of the current remote learning situation. For Wildcat Weekly, I'm Dominick Liacone.
Neuqua's LMC has a ton of quality reads. Despite not being able to get your hands on a physical copy of a book, Neuqua Valley still finds a way to get them to students. Salima has the details.
Neuqua's LMC is a place where students can find any book ranging from nonfiction all the way to sci-fi. This year there haven't been many opportunities to visit the LMC in person, but students can still pick out a book from the library's catalog regardless of their location.
Curbside pickup has acted as I switched classes and need to get a different book, or my English class has started a new novel, but then also I want to read, especially now that we're going into more of a cold weather season and possibly another stay-at-home request. It just gives us something to do, keeps us thinking and entertained.
To get a book through curbside pickup, visit nblmc.org and look through the catalog to find out what book you'd like. Next, fill out either the main building or Burkett Freshman Center's curbside pickup form, depending on which building you'd normally attend. After that, you'll be contacted by the LMC to arrange a pickup time. And although things are a lot different this school year, LMC directors are still here for you.
We're still here to help with Chromebook issues. We're still here to recommend books to you. We're still here to answer research questions. So in some ways, none of that has changed. We just do it differently, whether it's email or Zoom.
Well, we've always been kind of the main point where students come if there's a Chromebook problem, for instance, or if they have, research questions, or if they're just looking for a good book to read. And so we're just, I guess, trying to find ways to do all that remotely or in person.
Make sure to get hold of a book through Curbside Pickup Wildcats. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Salima Scott.
The youth vote has never been more impactful than in this election. Jim shows you how to vote today.
There's a lot on the line this election. In 2016, voter turnout hit a 20-year low. Only 55% of the eligible population hit the polls. And if you think your vote doesn't count, think again. Gen Z and millennials make up 37% of the eligible population this cycle, meaning you have a giant platform to vote for the candidates who represent you and your issues the best.
Wildcats, you have such a strong voice in this election, so let's get you prepared to use it.
we're going to take you through getting registered to vote. First off is determining whether you're eligible. In order to be eligible to vote in Illinois, you have to be a U.S. citizen, 18 years of age on or before the general election, and you have to be living in your election precinct for at least 30 days before the election. If you're eligible, great. The next step is the registration process itself.
You can register online, which is probably the easiest right now, up until October 18th. You can go online and register. An easy way to get to the registration site is to use the League of Women Voters voter guide site, vote411.org. So you go to vote411.org, and there's 2 pieces of information you need to have when you register. And again, the League site, you'll log into the site and then enter some information, and it will take you to the State Board of Elections website. You will be prompted to enter either a driver's license number or a state ID number. That's probably one of the easiest pieces of identification to have available. And if you have your last 4 digits of your Social Security number to enter in.
Remember, Wildcats, it's your civic duty to vote, so be sure to register today. For Wildcat Weekly, I'm Jim Reindell.
A Neuqua student has been an integral part of an anti-bullying movement. Sam tells you about a Wildcat you should know.
Inside the world of dance, there's a negative stigma surrounding boys who dance. One Neuqua student, Jimmy Long, experienced the harsh and cruel mindset people outside of the dance world can have towards male dancers. One specific instance stands out to Jimmy and his father as the moment when the anti-bullying movement Dance On was born.
About a little over 2 years ago, at a elementary school function, Jimmy and his dance team were participating in a school year end event. We're subject to some heckling, and in the case of the guys who were participating, some slurs that are normally reserved for boys who dance, and they were upset, but also working it out on what they had just experienced.
What could have been a bitter and depressing moment for Jimmy and the other male dancers was transformed into an uplifting movement that intended to change the dance world for the better. Dance On was born. Since then, Dance On has sold thousands of shirts to families all around the world and gathered a large following. Jimmy's father used this strong alliance of support to give back to the community by handing out scholarships to hopeful dancers. Gaining publicity from the mainstream media, Dance On caught the attention of the Today Show and was even featured on an episode. But the movement didn't stop there. First Lady Michelle Obama decided to upload the Today Show story to her 43 million Instagram followers.
When Michelle Obama reposted the story, it was kind of crazy because she is just like an icon, and she is just so amazing, and she's done so much for the country only as the First Lady.
Jimmy has been through a tough journey as a male dancer, but he hopes people can learn from his experience.
Is just to keep fighting and push through the adversity, all the bullies and the hecklers, and just to fight through all of the adversity that you face.
Dance On will no doubt continue to grow in the future, and Jimmy and his father will continue to fight against the stigma surrounding male dancers. For more information, head to the Dance On Instagram at Dance On Chicago, or go to the website at danceonchicago.com. Remember to always be kind, Wildcats, and for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Sam Drake.
I'm becoming an advocate for anti-bullying, and I love to dance.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.